Alright guys, so welcome to episode 11 of the MotorMarvel Podcast Talk. So today we have ourselves a very special guest, Mr. Nick over here. So he's very nicely donated some of his time to come and have a chat with us and talk a bit of car stuff.
Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming, Nick.
No problem.
So yeah, we're going to get into the news. Nick's going to follow us from the news, and then we're going to talk about a couple of cars that Nick has. He's got some exciting cars, some real cool cars. Other than that, thanks to our sponsors again, Hi-Hat Watches.
Exhaust notes, guys.
And exhaust notes too. And if you haven't checked out our recent track day, go check it out. Very, very cool.
Was a blast. We had fun, didn't we?
We did have a blast.
Yeah. Alright, so we did talk about a special guest here, Nick. So tell us a little bit about your history, mate, with cars and what you enjoy, what you got, and what all that's about.
Like the rest of us, I've been into cars for at least 15 to 20 years, I think. I've been lucky enough to have a fair few cars as well, which is good. Got into the old school cars very early on. I think it was year 10 formal.
Was there something at that time that you saw?
I thought about that before I came here, and I was like, there was something that triggered it, and it was definitely year 10 formal, because there were some burnouts. It was in Mexico, so it was fine.
Yeah.
But,
Wait, so you lived in Mexico then?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay, we'll start with that.
No, but it was good. No, we had year 10 formal. There was a few guys that rocked up with cars. My uncles were there and stuff with cars.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. I understand why people are into cars now. And then I think it was Need for Speed, Fast and the Furious was out at the time, and that got me into cars from the very get-go.
Oh, Need for Speed's the best.
Yeah. I think everyone can tag back to Need for Speed at some point. If you're into cars, that was definitely an influence.
Which one?
Underground.
It has to be underground.
It has to be underground.
It has to be underground. Like the soundtrack, the cars in that. Yeah.
Underground 1 and 2.
Yep, 100%. Yep.
And look, Most Wanted was still a good game.
Oh, 100%. I think Most Wanted was realistically a better game. But,
but Underground 1, when the cars are rolling and you're changing the wheels and the speakers, like what?
I still remember doing you remember the drag races where you had to shift at the right time?
The perfect shift. I was literally playing it the other day.
And then build up your boost.
Oh,
it
was the ultimate. But that was definitely the start of it. But I think muscle cars, I got into muscle cars because Dad was a mechanic, and that's what he knew how to work on. And XY Falcons and stuff were at the formal. A couple of hot rods at the time, old Fairlane, ZD Fairlane was their purple one.
Nice.
And I thought, muscle cars are where my heart lays from now. And Fast and the Furious was the car, the charger from that was...
What about Gone in 60 Seconds?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Thank you for mentioning that. I was going to forget that.
Yeah.
That scene when he sees
Eleanor,
and he puts his hand along it, that's... I do that every night.
I mean, it's one of those movies, again, that's just like iconic, right?
It's perfect.
From your childhood, when you watched it and you was like, this is cars.
Yeah. No, it was definitely... That's a big part of it as well. And again, that was a muscle car as well, and I thought, I fell in love with them. Pretty much, That was from then on. I was doomed.
So then, what cars do you have then?
At the moment, I've got a 1982 Datsun 720 Ute.
Yep.
Which is the daily. It's my baby. But that's rusted and patinaed out and stuff. So it's good. Don't have to worry about it. I've got a 1971 XY Falcon.
Nice.
That's going to be like a show car / summer nats car.
Mad.
But power cruise sort of thing.
Yeah.
And another XY Falcon that's on the street with my old man, with my dad. And we're building a 1968 Charger at the moment, Dodge Charger, and we've got a 1970 Charger with that as well.
Why 2 years difference? Is there much?
My personal opinion is the 70s rear, where it's the tail lights go a long ways. I prefer that rear, but I prefer the 68 front. That's my personal preference.
So
I'm not going to cut up the top, but my dad and my brother as well. I think he prefers the round lights at the back, which is the 68. That's the one. That's the one that we're building.
Which is the one they made into Roadrunner? The massive wing.
Roadrunner. I'm not sure exactly what that. So there's a Plymouth Roadrunner.
Yeah.
I think that was more the 70 because that's got the longer lights at the back, but I'm not too sure.
That's right. It did have the longer lights. Yes.
Yeah. But that's my...
Mate, that's
the ugliest but best car.
It's $1 million car.
Oh, 100%.
Stupid price.
It's so ugly but beautiful at the same time. But
we've talked about another, I guess you'd say, kind of side car like of yours.
Yeah.
The VLs.
Oh, them suck. I'm actually embarrassed that I don't have one at the moment. Yeah.
What do you say, 8?
8. I've had 8 VLs.
Yeah, 8 VLs.
I have a soft spot for them. I've loved them. And honestly, I think that was the first... must have been Summer Nats the first big car event I went.
Probably do some ridiculous burnout.
Because they were cheap there, and there was heaps of them, and everyone did them differently, but again the same. But I was like, you can
Which
get
one
that.
would you prefer, the straight 6 or the V8?
I was a sucker for the V8s. The straight six, now that I'm at this point, I would love like a proper built straight six.
Yeah.
Big horsepower, but like kind of factory looking. Yeah. But the big blown VL is my...
Yeah, that's pretty mad.
Yeah.
My cousin owned one of them at one point. He had a Peter Brock replica.
Oh, see, that's another
in blue.
shape.
And it had big blow eyes standing out of the bonnet, and then tub to the max, where he had to actually custom fabricate the inside of the wheel arches.
Oh, man.
So when you sat in the back seats, there was really only 2 seats because the wheel arches came all the way into the back seats.
That's it. They cut the seat out to make it thin, so it just
You're
sits on
talking
the
an
tub.
extreme.
Yeah,
no, that's old.
And it was blue.
Yeah,
Peter Brock blue.
Oh, that's old.
It was mad. Yeah, it was mad. I remember going in that when I was a kid, and I loved that thing. And then that thing would just... It would like move.
100%.
It was so much
still
power.
Old school as well. Like, it's a good shape. The 80s were, I think that was a good time for those cars anyway. Yeah.
I think speaking about design, going on to that subject, I think we've lost that these days.
Yeah, I don't.
With cars, I like, you look at, we were speaking about this on the previous podcast, is that back in the day, there was like passion and like pride in what they designed.
Yeah,
and
I
like
agree.
the car had like, it had a sense of its personality. Now,
for sure,
everything is the same.
Yeah.
There is no more like nothing stands. You're saying this off on when I'm not on camera.
Yeah.
And we're speaking about supercars, and
yes,
you're like,
that's right. I haven't. Yeah.
Like realistically, the supercars are cool these days. They're fast.
100%.
They mad lap times. They're like all that. But in terms of looks and like, they're just man.
Yeah, I haven't seen much that I paid attention to.
It kind of feels like they're in with cars, movies, everything. It's like, oh, let's bring back.
Yeah.
Something that was good.
That's exactly what they're doing.
We're kind of in that era at the moment where it feels like it's like, oh, let's remake movies, or let's bring the old cool cars back and modernise them again. Because no one seems to come up with that much fresh new design and interesting concepts.
You look at Fast and the Furious, right? They've become action films now. They become stupid, right?
Yeah.
But I saw something the other day. Apparently, Vin Diesel wants to bring back the old street racing Fast and the Furious.
I mean, I think that's where it originated from, right? And then it just got silly.
It got silly. And I think he wants to bring that back and reintroduce that car culture.
If they can do that somehow, that'd be
it'd be amazing.
Yeah.
But then again, like you just said, Nick, it might be the cars that we grew up with, because the cars these days, like, there's not a lot that really stands out as wow. Like,
it's going to be hard. We look at cars back when we were a kid and we go, oh, we wanted that as a kid, so now we buy it and we own it because we can. I wonder what my kids in 10, 15 years are going to look back and go, I want to own a what?
Yeah.
What are they going to want to own from our... I mean, maybe we're just biased because of where we've been and what we've seen, but I feel like from our era, our kids in 10 or 15 years are going to look back at and go, that was sick, I really wanted that growing up.
Yeah, I know. I don't think it's and going back to the films that inspired us into, like, the cars were characters in the films as well. Like you'd wait for the car to come back on screen in a way, but I haven't felt like that in a long time.
But the cars had personality, and they had
that's exactly that. A character for sure. Yeah,
and I always say this: every motor enthusiast buys a car because it represents them.
Yep.
Right. But
good point. Yep.
But you buy cars these days don't represent your personality.
Yeah, I don't know.
They don't.
Yeah.
The i30N we had last week. Now, I know we talk about Hyundai a lot, but the i30N felt special. It gave me that sense of something that we once drove when we were younger, that when you walk, the look back.
Oh,
when you look back at the car.
Yeah, for sure.
The i30, even though I had it on just lease, right?
Yeah.
From Hyundai.
Yeah.
I look back and I go, that's a mad car.
Wow, okay.
That's a mad car.
It sounds ridiculous. It's a bit silly.
It's
just
stupid,
cool
but
it feels like you made it in Need for Speed and brought it to the
correct.
Yeah.
And I think that's what the Evos were when we were young.
100%.
The Skylines.
Yep.
There's 350s.
Even Civics and
Civics is a shitty Civic was like cool. Like that's the thing. But all these other hot hatches these days, and it was hard for me when I was writing the review for that i30. I was trying to think of other cars that would go up against it, and the only thing I could think of was the Golf GTI, because everything was benchmarked at the Golf GTI.
Yeah,
it always has been the best front-wheel drive, hot hatch out there. But now it has to move aside. The i30 takes its place.
Really?
The i30N is a way better car. It's more designed for motoring enthusiasts, and it can be used daily.
Better bang for buck.
Better bang for buck. The GTI has become boring.
Yeah.
It's no longer what it used to be.
Is there like potential to mod the i30Ns?
Oh, of course.
So if you have one for a while and they're out of warranty, you can take it to the garage and say, let's do this.
But the thing Nick said, he said, you can just pick it up and take it straight to the track, smash it over and over and over again, then take it home.
Yeah. They got track warranty?
And they back it,
They got track warranty.
Yeah. See, if every company would compete with them, then you'd have a bunch of good cars, right?
If you had a bunch of people went, right, let's make competitors to these cars.
Yeah.
Would be in a...
And the only other car company...
There'd be VLs everywhere.
Yeah, literally.
The only other car company that seems to be pulling their finger out is Toyota, because they've got the GR Yaris, the GR
I think
Corolla.
they're the winners by far.
Yeah,
at the moment,
they're doing
for
it,
me
and
anyway.
it's just them and Hyundai. Like, I know everyone's going to say, well, what about the Honda Civic Type R? I know that is cool, but that car, the Honda Civic Type R now is nearly 80 grand. Wow. When was a Honda Civic Type R nearly 80 grand?
That's crazy, yeah.
Like, I'm sorry,
cool cars,
it's
but
a
again,
cool car, but like,
You don't see many of them.
you don't see many because
So what's
the price
the
tag.
i30 at?
53 before on road costs.
Yeah, wow. Okay, yeah.
Like, come on, like,
didn't know
you
that.
can't.
There's no-
like,
just chalk and
what are
cheese.
you going to buy? Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it's the best.
If you're getting that feeling after driving a car like that, like,
At that price tag,
Yeah.
it's like, why would you, like, you know what I mean?
yeah.
And people argue, me and Nick were saying last week, people argue, what about the A45 AMG and then the other, but they're hyper hatches. Like, they're
next level, yeah.
They're next level,
Yeah.
right? They're like RS3 and AMG. They're 100 grand plus. Like,
Yes.
like in that territory, yes.
There's a lot of car you can deal with then.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
But-
Yeah, that makes sense.
I
Yeah.
think we've done a pretty good introduction to Nick.
Yeah.
So maybe we should.
Now we should get on to the news.
Sounds good.
Perfect.
I wasn't going to cut, but I think we should.
No, it's good. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, on to the news. So, MSRT, which is a tuning company, which is partnered up with Ford.
Yeah.
Which what they do is they get, your general
Standard cars.
commercial vehicles.
Yep.
They're commercial vehicles. They specialize in commercial vehicles and make them stupid.
I wouldn't say stupid.
Not stupid. They make commercial
Stupid in a good
way.
In a good way.
Yeah.
Good one.
They enhance them.
Yeah, they enhance them in a way that they make your commercial vehicle fun.
Yeah,
So you don't have to do it.
Yeah, so you don't go to work going, oh, this is boring. You go to work going, this is fun. I can't wait to get in the car.
Yeah.
And they've just redesigned and tuned the latest Ranger, and I'm being honest, it's probably the best looking Ranger I've ever seen, and I think it looks better than the Raptor.
Yeah, look, if you guys are listening to the podcast on Spotify as well, jump on, have a look at MSRT, the new Ranger.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. It's a cool looking car.
It's pretty. If you could go to the other images, Nick. It's
I can try.
yep. So they've fully. God, look at that. It looks mad.
That is actually awesome.
It looks sick.
See, and just different colour as well.
Yeah.
Are they releasing? Are these?
They're coming to Australia.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, they're coming to Australia.
Yeah.
So, engine specs, guys, just for you who are watching and for people that are listening, it's the diesel, so it's the V6 diesel from the Wild Track. Go down because the interior is the best part.
Alright.
The exterior is mad. It's like wider body.
The blue's cool.
Yeah, the blue's
I
cool.
love that. Is that the RS blue?
Yeah, it looks like
Yeah,
the RS blue.
yeah.
So unfortunately, it doesn't have the Ranger Raptors engine, but it does have it looks cool, the interior. The best part of the seats. It's got full like bucket seats in it. Like it looks it looks better than a Ranger. Like I'm sorry, that looks better, more special than a Ranger. And like we were saying from the start, when we're talking about cars that are special, that looks special and has that feeling. I think if you buy that, that has the look back.
That is awesome. No, 100%. Yeah, definitely.
You got one of those?
That is unreal.
Yeah, that's mad. So drivetrain is the V6 diesel. Now, it's probably not as powerful as the Raptors engine, but you could tune the living crap out of it. It still makes 600 newton meters of torque.
What more do you want?
Like,
It's you're going to drive them to the site.
700 meters.
I think it makes
Just keep going.
it makes it just under 200 kilowatts. I think 176.
Yeah.
I don't mark my words, but I'm pretty sure it's 176
Again,
kilowatts.
if you've got a diesel, all you care about is the torque. What's it pulling? What's it doing?
Yeah, but I think that looks cool. Honestly, I think that's more special than the Raptor.
Yeah.
Like, it looks cool. So
If you had the choice for the dollars, you're going to this, you're going to own a Raptor.
I'd own that.
Yeah.
The diesel would probably be better fuel efficient wise too.
Yep.
I hope you've got friends who own Raptors and they say they're horrible in fuel.
They do kind of eat the fuel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, do you know anyone that's got a Raptor?
No, I don't actually, but I've heard the same thing. Yeah, a couple of clients do, and they
Yeah.
So diesel sounds like a good option.
I reckon that's why they did that, to be honest.
They probably did.
Well,
they probably looked
they are
into
a
it.
commercial tuning
That's what I'm
company,
saying.
so they're not going to tune a Raptor. That's not a commercial
If
vehicle.
they're trying to keep it in that
Yeah.
commercial mindset that it's practical still,
Yeah.
and that someone would want to drive this around a lot,
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree.
tick in the boxes, and it looks cool.
And it
And
looks-
interior.
Man,
looks
especially
mad.
the interior, like you said.
Yeah. It's mad.
That's a ute, right?
Yeah, you forget it is straight away.
You forget it's a ute. Yeah.
It's a bit like my 82 Datsun,
Yeah.
except it doesn't leak.
But imagine rocking up the sides with that.
Yeah, oh, that'd be the ultimate.
Cool
You
car.
wouldn't get out. You just be like, yeah, keep working.
You keep working.
All right, so we talked about this a little while ago, about there's a few companies that are struggling and not kind of keeping up with what we reckon they should be in regards to, the current trends and where cars are going and whatnot. And obviously Nissan here, that we mentioned isn't doing so good, mate.
No,
It's
they don't. They
pretty
don't.
rough.
They don't look good. Apparently, they have 12 months until they go bankrupt. So,
That's crazy. I had no idea until
could you imagine,
mentioned
like,
before.
like we were saying before from the start, like when we were
Yep.
kids, right? You had the 350,
Oh,
you had
man.
the Sky, like the R34,
Yep.
right? And
Think about the R35s even, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of them around. You see a fair few of them.
Yeah.
All the Nissan,
But-
yeah.
They're obviously still only a small portion in comparison to probably what they sell in other
Yeah.
cars, but
So
still.
is it due to like the new stuff that they're selling, or is it?
well, you think about what they're selling at the moment. They
Yeah.
are selling the new Z, and that's a nice car. Don't get me wrong, the new one is,
Yeah,
right?
still-
I'm a big fan.
I'm a big fan of
Yeah.
it,
do you think
right?
they've sold many? Have you seen any on the road?
I haven't seen, that's a
I've
good
seen one of
I
our
was gonna
clients
say, I
has
think I've seen one
client,
or
man.
two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Usually when there's something like that, a fair few clients have them, but only one of our clients have one.
I-
Yeah.
I've
One
seen a
had a
couple.
yellow one ordered, but he got rid of the order. I don't
Yeah.
know, personal reasons, whatever. But yeah,
But like, yeah, that's a good point. Like, but again, even if that, right, that's just one car. What else do they have? They got. You know what's really sad is they just spent shit tons on the new Patrol, and the new. Have you seen the new Patrol?
no, I haven't.
It looks
Someone was talking about that the other day.
insane. Like,
Yeah.
to be fair, the new Patrol, I would honestly take over the new Land Cruiser.
Yeah.
It's
Wow.
It's
okay.
got a 3.5 liter V6 twin turbo in it.
Yeah.
Right. Pretty sure it's 3.5.
that's
Just,
right.
but it is a 3 liter.
Yeah, three
V6
something. Yeah, yeah.
twin turbo V6, right?
Plenty.
And it makes stupid amount of power, right? And it's not that bad on fuel,
Yep.
and it's faster than the Land Cruiser.
Wow.
Looks better to you, reckon?
Looks better interior.
what price
You-
wise,
if you
anything?
can pop it up, like just try pop it
I'll see if I
up.
can get it.
Try pop it up. And the pricing is a bit absurd. So the pricing is going to be the same as a Land Cruiser,
Yeah. Okay.
right?
Yep.
But they just spent crap tons on building that,
Developing it. And
developing it,
everything.
and all that, and now they're going to pull
You're
out.
saying what? 12 months, maybe.
Maybe, yeah. So if you go
Pop some images up. Yeah.
go down,
Oh, is that it?
that's it.
Wow.
Go down, go down. Go to the interior. The interior is mad. That's the interior. Look at that.
Wow.
Like, that's the new. That's the new Patrol.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
Are they out
He's
here
very
now?
honest.
Yeah, they're coming to Australia, and it's a beautiful car. It's a beautiful
That
four-wheel
is
drive.
unreal.
Like, to be honest, they've done such a good job on it. The new Patrol,
That whole square shape.
Yep.
Very popular.
and the interior
It
is,
is,
and the interior. If you can get the interior, sorry, Nick, the interior up. It's a V6 twin turbo.
I don't know if I can.
That's right there, mate.
It's
So
not-
if you scroll down,
No, it won't give me a good one.
look at that, dude.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the interior. Like, how much of an improvement is that over the? Now, I had the previous generation.
It's quite modern, isn't it?
Yeah, I had the previous gen for review.
Yeah,
and they
okay.
hadn't changed it for years. How prehistoric was the one I had for review?
So you're not excited when you sit in then?
The new one was matte. Like the old
Yeah.
one, the one I reviewed, which
Yep.
was the previous gen for this,
Okay.
right? Had the V8,
Yep.
and don't get me wrong, it sounded mad, right? But the interior was like something from the 90s.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Dude, it was
Stepping
so
back in
dated.
time.
It had
Yeah.
timber and like it was.
Yeah, wow. Okay.
So they've just spent big bucks building
Yeah,
these,
wow. You can
and
tell.
Abu Dhabi just got. So they've been released in Abu Dhabi because it's their biggest market.
Right, yeah, of
right. So
course.
they got
Yep.
to see it firsthand before anyone else, and I think they're getting orders before anyone else as well.
Okay.
Well, have you seen some of the things they do to them?
Yeah, they make them absolutely stupid.
So with this, yeah, I could just.
Mate,
Wow.
if you watch the recent like, old Top Gear episodes,
some
was it
crazy-
Top Gear or was it the Grand Tour when Richard dragged
Oh, he raced on- I remember that.
2,000 horsepower Patrol against a 918?
So that was a patrol. I forgot.
yeah, and that
Yep,
Patrol just
yep. chopped it.
chopped it.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Big time.
It's funny as.
they just spent big money on this, and this is great. This is beautiful.
And maybe they're hoping this is going to save them, but
I was going to say, is that an option
might
if
be
they
too-
sell enough of these? Is it? Yeah.
But so let's think about it. They got
surely they're trying to pump them out
Yeah.
so that they can get sales and maybe stay afloat. But they're in pretty big debt from my understanding.
yeah. Well, they got this and the Z. What else they got? Like I can't think of anything else. What else?
We had the X-Trail and you weren't hugely...
Oh, I hated that thing.
What are
Yeah.
the Utes here
So-
now? Are they still doing the Navara or not?
Yeah, but I don't know.
It's not massive. It's not going to
massive,
save them,
no.
though, are they?
I don't feel like
Yeah.
it's a huge... Like, there's Navaras, yeah, but I don't think it's a...
Well, the X-Trail wasn't bad. So let me get back. The X-Trail wasn't
Yeah.
bad, but the X-Trail wasn't anything.
But I think that's the problem, right? Everything we mentioned, it's all not bad.
It's not bad. It's not terrible.
Are any of these things you go, I'm going to go out and own one? Besides this, none of those cars we just talked about
No.
would make you, I want to I need
Fair
to have one
enough.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's maybe the problem, is there's
Yeah.
too many other options that we go, well, I would actually prefer this, I'd prefer that. And they're not doing enough, I
And-
think, to keep up there
Correct.
with some of these models. So
Yeah, I know.
It's sad. It's sad.
Scary.
It is scary. And
how long they've been? I don't know when they were in conception of as a company, but I feel like I've always known there's Nissans on the road.
surely someone's going to buy them out.
You'd expect.
Surely some Japanese variant will buy them out.
You'd hope so, yeah.
So hopefully someone, fingers crossed, buys them out.
And they just reshell the 34s, like I said, for 30 grand AUD.
Well, if Hyundai bought them out,
Mate, send it in.
Hyundai bring the N team in and just freaking make all the Skylines again.
Oh, man.
Can you imagine that?
Oh, yes, I can. Yep.
He's dreaming already.
Need to Speed Underground 3.
Yeah. Okay, so this is exciting. So
yeah, this is very cool.
one of my favourite Fords of all time, the Ford Escort, is getting reviewed. Look, it's not they don't know if they're definitely going to remake it. They're going to bring it back, but I hope, fingers crossed, they do. They are. Ford is reviewing and bringing it back.
What do you reckon, Nick? Do you like the Escorts?
Oh, mate, that is one of the best.
Yeah.
That's a great... If they end up doing that, that's just dream come true for a lot of people, I reckon.
Could you imagine them remaking one of these, putting a 2-litre 4-cylinder turbo petrol motor in it, rear-wheel drive with a manual gearbox?
Unbelievable.
Oh,
Like a modern updated
interior,
with some nice
like
seats and everything else.
It'd be next level.
It would be pretty awesome.
Oh,
it'd just be mad. And Ford has the power to do this. They really do.
I really hope they pull it together. It'd be pretty interesting to see. Yeah.
And they've got a lot of stuff in their toolbox to do so.
Their arsenal of engines and drivetrains.
They've got
interiors,
Mustang
everything
chassis they could probably use and do. And
pull something together and surely make
so
it
that's
pretty
their plan to kind of bring it together and then sell them, or just do an exhibition? Or
I think they're reviewing.
they're reviewing the option.
Yeah, okay.
Shall we do this or not? I think it's probably the review.
Well, if they watch this, then yes.
The answer is just do it. Don't think, just do it.
Just do it. 100%.
Because Escorts were always mad.
Yeah.
Like, I love an old Escort. An old Escort is just a very, very nice car. And
going back to the character that you said before, it's just that has so much character.
Oh, it has so much character.
Yeah.
And we've seen them in a lot of movies. They've been in a lot of movies.
Yeah.
They weren't as big in Australia, but they were a bigger British.
Yeah, the British big, like the small Ford scene. They're massive.
They're massive.
Right? Yeah.
They weren't really massive here. But I still have a soft spot for it.
I'm pretty keen. If they're having chats, maybe they can bring it back. If they do, keep an eye out.
And like Fast and Furious 6 references, they do jump bridges.
Yes, they do. They're very capable of doing that.
Bridge jumpers.
Yeah, but I hope they remake it. That'd be unbelievable.
All right, Sal. So apparently today we've got a Ute episode because we're talking about more Ute stuff. And guess what? It's a Ranger again. So
I love Utes.
If you can't tell, guys, Sal.
I have a soft spot for Utes,
especially a fan of the Utes.
Big pickups.
Yeah. So
all right,
come on then. Give us some nonsense about this.
So this is exciting. So for Spotify listeners, you can't see this. For YouTube people, you can see it. So for Spotify listeners, there is going to be Ford Ranger Super Duty is coming in 2026.
What's that mean though?
So it's
what's a Super Duty?
So it's going to sit between the Ranger and the F-150, and it's going to be a hardcore workhorse. That is cool. That is mad. That means there's going to be a smaller. So if you don't want the huge F-150, which I don't understand why you wouldn't want one because they're mad.
The Ranger is already quite big.
No, it's not big enough.
I think
So it's size-wise, it's in between the Ranger and the F-150.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
If you look at the Rangers these days, I already think they're quite.
Nah, not big enough.
Shut up. Okay, I get it. The Ranger's not big enough. You want a massive Ute. I get it. Big Ute. Let's do it. But you're filling a tiny gap in the middle here, guys.
Yeah. No, it's awesome.
You're going from a Ranger, which is already decent size, to a F-150, which is a bigger Ute. Yes. Yeah. And then, we need something in between.
Well, it's like buying a shirt, right? Sometimes you like to wear medium. Sometimes you like to wear larges.
It's not even. It's like a 0.5 gap. It's not even a full gap.
It's like that. It's like you go to the shops and you go to look at a medium shirt. You're like, the medium looks alright, but I want it to be oversized. So I'm going to get the large. But the XL's too big, right? Yeah. So this is what this is. It's the large. It sits right in the middle.
Alright, fair enough.
And, come on.
I'm not convinced.
You're not a fan of big trucks.
I don't have a problem with big trucks. I just wonder what market this is hitting and was it necessary?
It's very necessary.
Okay.
Do you like big trucks, Nick?
I like big trucks as well.
See? Yeah. Big trucks.
I've got... Yeah. I've got a soft spot for all the trucks as well, but I can see where Nick's coming from.
American Utes are mad.
Yeah, for sure. I like the look of it and everything, but I agree with you slightly.
We're hitting a very, just somewhere that probably doesn't.
I would definitely own one tomorrow for sure.
Oh, look, it's a cool looking car. Same.
You get one, you jack it up, you put massive 35s on it, and then you put exhaust.
If I was going to do a big Ute, I'd probably just have an F-150. I don't know,
So if you had the option, would you go an F-150 or would you get one of these?
No, I'll get a Silverado.
Yeah. Okay.
So anyway, Sal's U episode coming up next.
So talking about the Ranger and everything, and then it's like, I go Silverado.
Done.
But I still think this is cool. It's giving people an option now.
We've already got loads of options.
Yes. If people want the option, put it this way: it's better to have more options. If I was going to buy one, I would rather have 3 options than one.
Two, yeah, I guess. Fair
The
enough.
Ranger's not big. You think the Ranger's a big car?
So look, I'll tell you what. Let's wrap this up. But in maybe a few episode time, we can have a Ute special by Sal, and you can talk about all the Utes all you want, mate.
Everyone that wants a Ute special, let me know because I'll do one because I love them.
And you can measure Rangers.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Right, boys. So we were reminiscing just earlier in this podcast about Need for Speed and how much we loved Underground. We talked about Most Wanted, and then we're coming across this.
Yeah.
Right. This is
bad.
This is pretty sick, right?
Yeah.
So BMW here had brought to life the Need for Speed M3 from
Most Wanted.
Most Wanted. Yeah.
The
So
GTR, the M3 GTR.
Yep.
To commemorate 20th anniversary of Most Wanted,
Yeah.
and
it is pretty sick. So again, Spotify listeners, maybe give it a look. Just search up M3 BMW Need for Speed, and you'll find this. It is
Scroll down.
pretty amazing.
and it's properly built for like racing. It's not like just
So they didn't just do a cover car.
no. They've done everything. BMW's done everything. It's got everything to it. Look at it.
Oh my goodness, I have not seen these.
Look at that interior.
And it's a manual gearbox.
Oh, ultimate.
No.
Well done. So BMW did this themselves?
Yeah, they did this.
Well done. That
So
is
BMW's
so cool.
decision to switch from the 3.2 litre straight 6 to a 4 litre V8.
These guys, they know what's going on. That's the best.
So originally the GTR, there was an M3 GTR for the track.
Yes.
It did have a 4 litre V8.
Okay.
E46, it had a 4 litre V8 instead of having...
Okay, fair enough.
This is kind of based off the
That
GTR
model,
that
GTR
they made.
version, yeah.
So they did make a GTR version. But that is just... Again, going back to the games, like, do you remember that in Most Wanted?
Yeah, how can you forget?
Yeah.
Like I remember seeing, even when it went, I'm pretty sure it went platinum the game, but I still remember the case of like the classic case of it. And
I mean, again, cars that we look at now,
Yep.
you can reference straight away.
Like they should, if they toured that around the world, I would pay money to go see it,
See
or
it,
sit in
yeah.
it or something. That's crazy.
A lot
Or
of...
drive it.
Or drive it.
Well, yeah, if they want to,
I would
let us-
definitely
let
drive
you review it.
a lot of people have built E46s like this, but so this is not the first time.
Okay, cool.
So BMW's done a proper job, right?
Yep.
But there are guys out there that have done very,
Built the
very
replica
good
cars.
jobs and just gotten a standard E46 M3
Yep.
and done this
Okay, cool.
to reminisce the
Maybe
game.
you like building cars, don't you?
Yeah, so maybe you should build it.
Put it on the next
BMW
build.
donate the car. I wish. I'm a massive fan of the replica cars
Well,
too.
you
I
think
love
of-
that.
you think of
Again,
the-
the characters.
Yeah.
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 Well, think of Need for Speed.
Yeah.
What other Need for Speeds had a car that was the character of the game? They really didn't. Like Underground 1 and 2 didn't really have a car.
No,
You
that
built
was-
your own
It was
cars.
personal preference. I
Correct.
think everyone had a dream car in there,
Yeah.
personally.
But this was the cover car for Most Wanted.
100%, because it had the graffiti Most Wanted
Yep.
text, didn't it? Yeah, I can't picture any more iconic cover than that.
No,
A
and you
more iconic
lost the
cover.
car at the start of the game. Remember, you drag race that guy and he steals your car, and then the whole game.
That's right.
The whole game revolves around you trying to get it back.
Get it back, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
No,
No, I think that they've honestly, they've just, they've given the car culture what they wanted.
Yeah.
Building something like that for sure.
Pretty cool, hey?
but again, like you both were saying, like, we're not. There's nothing like this these days. Like games, culture.
Yep.
There is no real character anymore.
Yeah, I agree.
Car character.
Yep.
It's just there's nothing.
Yep.
Bring it back.
Do you know what I mean? So I want like movies to start modern. Like we were speaking before about.
BMW made a version of this that was like purchasable as a tractor.
Oh, could you imagine if they did this to the recent M2?
Yeah.
They
Like
just-
a Need for Speed edition.
Yeah.
Fucking-
Yeah, could you imagine that? They made an M2 Need for Speed edition.
That'd be pretty cool.
That would be sick.
Yeah.
That would be unbelievable.
But it is sad to see that we're looking into movies now and stuff like you were saying before, and Nick, you were saying like look at Fast and the Furious movies. They all got modern cars in it, but you don't care for them. It's an
I couldn't
action
even-
film. Like you don't
I think
care.
it's a relatable thing, though. Like
Yeah.
I think the first earlier movies, you could have got a Civic and put neons on it with a big taco, and you felt part of the culture. I guess.
You were in Need for Speed.
Yeah, but I can't I don't know how to drive a submarine in ice.
Or fly a plane on an endless strip of runway.
Or go to space.
Or go to space.
And I don't want to crash the charger. It's expensive.
And how many times, like, think about it, when we were young and you went to the cinemas, right? Everyone can relate to this.
Yep.
You left too Fast and Furious, you got in your car, and all you could hear is everyone leaving.
100%. Yeah. No matter, and because you had a car that was maybe relatable to it, I guess. Yeah.
But now, like you just said, you're leaving your submarine.
Yeah, that's exactly what getting a helicopter or,
It's so dumb.
It's a bit silly.
It's crazy.
So this gives us hope that
it's
culture's actually coming back.
Yep.
And big manufacturers are realising, hey, wait a second, there is a car culture still out there.
Yep.
Let's obviously embrace it and let's relate back to it.
Well, there should be a fair few anniversaries coming up of that, because that was a good time. Like, that's 20 years ago. It's scary to say, but there's a few anniversaries of that car culture that it was big then, right?
Do you remember the auto salon?
Oh, I've still got magazines from, man, I'll have to show you. I've still got the original magazines at home. Yeah. Oh, they were the Bible back in the day.
Do you remember how dumb the cars were? We loved them.
Yeah, 100%. They do nothing to the motors and spend 50 grand on, or not 50 grand, I don't know how much
Yeah, they did.
day, but in the interior, that's it.
And like, do you remember at one of the auto salons, there was the Subaru that had the roof chopped off? The yellow one?
Roughly, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't remember that. But see, stuff.
Remember, steering wheels had a freaking screen on them.
Yeah, it was like, how many subwoofers can you fit in
That's
the
right.
seats?
Yeah. But that was all just need to speed in real life, I
How
guess.
many neons you can stick on the car?
Yep.
Like, they were everywhere.
I'm all for neons coming
Oh,
back.
please bring
I'm sure they're
neons
coming
back.
back. I'm sure they
Neons
are.
were freaking awesome. Like, they were bad. Yeah, neons. Remember spinners?
I think they're quite illegal now.
Yeah, well, I
I had a
can't.
VL with neons, I'm sorry to say, but that was cool.
What
I
colour
wouldn't be
were the
sorry
neons?
about that.
Green neons on a white VL.
That's
it was,
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is cool. See, but
No, they were blue. They were blue. I'm sorry, they were blue.
They were blue.
They were blue neons, yeah.
Yeah, but like neons, like you think about back then how much that you would customize a car. Like you just said, Nick, it was stupid. You'd spend so much, it would do nothing.
Yeah. Do nothing, but you could rock up to a car meet and feel part of it.
Feel
I
like a
guess.
king.
Yeah.
You'd be like, this is my creation.
Yeah. And now it's all different now, but yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think moving on, guys. Alright, guys, so I saw something interesting from Mercedes this week in the news. They're actually looking at changing the way some of their new cars brake.
You're
Right?
telling me this?
Yeah, so instead of your traditional rotors, pads, or the rest of it on the wheels, they're actually taking it and trying to inbuild the braking mechanism in the drivetrain itself. So, so this way they're eliminating a few things. What they're trying to achieve is, again, weight reduction, so you don't have the unsprung weight in the wheels. So performance, handling, whatever else will be better. They're also trying to reduce, because, again, we're trying to keep the world clean and safe and all the rest of it, brake dust.
Yeah.
So brake dust is quite a big pollutant, and they're trying to get rid of that. So in this, would actually reduce that. So you get rid of the pollution from the brake pads.
Completely, right?
You get rid of the weight from the wheels, the unsprung weight, and they're saying it's all going to be contained within the drivetrain, and basically you won't have to service it, you won't have to do anything, there won't be pads, there won't be rotors, there'll be nothing, and it will last the life of the vehicle.
That is crazy.
And so again, it's pretty new tech. I don't know much more than that. And obviously they're
That's still
trying
a lot.
to develop it. Well, yeah, which is a fair bit.
Yeah, really. Just really working from the
Yeah, he's working for Mercedes. Nick's solely working for Mercedes.
Yeah,
Under the radar.
Look, I had a brief look, all right?
So any idea, like, mechanically how they... So in the drivetrain, like...
I just presume if you've got a spinning drivetrain, they're going to have some sort of mechanism in there that I presume is going to slow it.
Which is that one there.
Yeah, which has got some photos here.
Oh, that's exactly it.
Yeah. Right?
Wow.
Where we're pretty much trying to incorporate in the braking
They're
system.
putting it in the...
They kind of look like pads, but
Looks like a whole lot of pads just in a big circle, doesn't it? Yeah. So I'm pretty interested to find a bit more out about this, but it's going to tick a lot of boxes.
well, like you were saying, if that's gonna make the car lighter,
Well, yeah, so turning
It's
potential,
not a
right?
bad
You're
thing.
not turning all with all that weight in the wheels.
Yeah.
So it's going to be lighter, it's going to be more direct, it's going to be easier to turn.
it's gonna be more nimble.
More nimble, right? So you're going to do that already from a car for performance-wise. Plus you're ticking the
But how much?
pollution box. I guess, yeah, look, whether it's very expensive tech for them to incorporate in cars is probably the
Yeah, and
question.
to re-engineer it. I don't
Correct,
know.
right? With these new cars, is this going to be a very expensive piece of engineering to actually do? So their cars that have it are going to be very expensive cars.
Yeah.
But surely, again, when we see tech like this, right, when they create it, it goes to those expensive cars. But then over the years, it fiddles down.
Yeah, it fiddles down.
So if they come up with tech that works
good point.
and functions, okay, it might be for their expensive cars to start with.
Yeah.
But if it is good, it's going to start filtering down to all
The
their
only
models.
question I ask is, we know this, right? The more power you put in the car, the bigger discs, you got to get the bigger pads and all that. What if this goes into AMGs? And AMGs, people tune them and all that. How would that work? Like,
Well, look, at the moment...
is it one fits all? Or like it just deals with all the
At the
power?
moment they're mentioning it's
Ford
EV.
9-inch diff, just unbreakable maybe. I don't know, yeah.
At the moment, they're saying it's only in EVs. So I wonder if it's something to do with the way the electric motors
Regenerative
work
braking.
and regenerative and stuff like that works, that they're doing it. Whether it comes to any combustion engine stuff, I don't know. But at the moment, they are talking EV only. So I think it's just tech that's cool, tech that's interesting. Mercedes-Benz trying out these new things. If it ends up becoming a thing, I think it ticks a lot of boxes, right?
Well, it'll tick a lot of boxes for EV owners because now if that does exist, it just means you don't have to replace anything on your EV anymore now.
Right.
What do you have to replace? Just tyres then?
We don't need to service a thing.
You just need tyres. That's it.
Tyres.
Wow, yeah, that's a big call.
That's a big call.
So you're reducing servicing costs, replacement costs.
Wiper blades and tyres, that's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Far out.
And maybe a software upgrade every time you've got to go in. You've got to update the software.
Yeah, true.
Like it does make sense, and that's a big thing.
Look, I just think it's exciting. You know, I've said this a few times across our podcast. I'm excited when I see people being innovative and the car industry still wanting to look at changing, helping, and bringing new things to the market.
No.
And I think that's just great. Whether this tech becomes anything, I'm excited that they're looking at it and they're doing it and they're investigating these options for things that will.
Well, stuff like this leads to that excitement that's we said maybe might be missing at the moment too.
If they're thinking, maybe they might bring back some cool things. Except they're only thinking EVs, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's right. No, if they make that for like big blown LS cars,
you're in. Yeah,
they have been. It's like this big. The drop shafts is this big.
Goes in between the tunnels.
They might need a few of these.
Yeah, that's right. You don't need just one.
Or one on each wheel. Back to the square one.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think that sort of wraps us up for today, Sal. So,
it does.
Look, big thanks, Nick. Cheers for coming, mate.
Pleasure. No, I had great fun.
Thanks for joining us, Nick.
No problem. Anytime. Thank you.
Other than that, guys, please like and subscribe, and we'll just catch you on another episode of the MotorMarvel Podcast next week.
Thanks for listening.
See you later.